Alright, well anyways, I thought I'd just do a quick video here on these mounts. If you follow me on Instagram, then you've already seen these quite a bit. These are type 2, I have type 1 that is built and I'll go over here in a minute. These are currently just test fitted into my AMX, which they sit nice and good, and the passenger side's really hard to see with the camera, but it's in there. These are fully adjustable, so you have some adjustment on your rubber AMC mounts, and that's what these mounts are made for, is to work with your factory AMC stuff. So you don't have to spend a whole ton of money on a bunch of stuff that you may or may not need, or may not have the budget to put in right now. These type 2 are 4-bolt flange, so they use all 4 bolts on the LS, and then they utilize all the bolts obviously on the AMC rubber mount. Question I do get a lot about the oil pan clearance. There's plenty of clearance between the oil pan, cross member, and there's like 2.5 inches between the sump and the cross member as well. And these motor mounts will work with the factory LS oil pan, the one that would hang down to here. And I have driven this AMX with one of those and never smashed it or blew it up, knock on wood. Never had a problem with that, but as you can tell, my exhaust definitely takes a beating on this car. But anyways, like I said, these will place your LS right into the AMC body with hardly any work. You don't have to cut anything on the firewall. You don't have to do any kind of modifications to anything. You can just drop your LS right in, and if you want to pull it back out, put an AMC motor back in, you sure could. And this also sets like the 4L60E and the 4L80E really close to your factory transmission cross member, which with just a few small minor modifications and flipping it backwards, you can bolt it right to your transmission as well with hardly any work. And you don't really have to destroy the AMC cross member, so you can reutilize it if you want to, like I said, put an AMC motor back in them. But anyways, I'll get these yanked out of there and we'll go over them a little bit better. Okay, these are the ones that I just had in the AMX, the Type 2, which everybody seems to really like these, and I agree, they're pretty nice. And they're definitely really stout as far as being built. So you could assure that you're never going to have a too much horsepower type of problem with them. And then these are Type 1. These are more of a nostalgic kind of mimic the factory AMC mounts. And you know, they just use a 3-bolt pattern instead of a 4-bolt, and they're adjustable as well as these here. And I would say they're pretty well stout. I mean, they're not going to break on you, I can tell you that much. So, you know, the Type 2 is more for the guys that are just really, you know, it's really cool, a lot of fun. They like to throw LSX on everything, or they're building a big horsepower car, or they want the 4-bolt plate. So, you know, they want more strength, they want the best of both worlds on that one. This one here is just for the guy who's maybe more on a budget, and you know, he just wants to get the LS put in his car, and you know, and he just wants something that's already made. He's gonna have to fiddle with. He can just bolt it right on the LS, throw the mounts on this thing, drop it right in the car, and etc. Just keep on going. So both of these mounts can be installed in the car with the engine in it. It took me maybe 5 minutes to pull them in and out of the AMX, and I can't lift the hood, but the engine's in there. Didn't do anything crazy to it, just jacked up the motor and pulled them in and out. So I mean, they aren't very tough to put in, even with the LS in the car, in case you already have an LS and you want to just get a better set of mounts or something, you know. But keep in mind, these were built to kind of utilize everything cross member wise, measurements and everything. So if you already have a set and you put these in, they may, you know, wherever your transmission's sitting, or if you got something wiring or something going on, it may move the motor a little bit different for you. So It's the only thing I can tell you about that. But anyways, all my goal is to sell maybe 200 sets of these, mixed, whichever one sells. Type 1, Type 2, just kind of 200 between the two of them. And, you know, whether I sell 5, 10, 2 sets, it doesn't matter. At least I know they're out there and those people are happy with them. So got some, I've got a couple tester sets out there. These are going to go to a couple testers. And once they kind of put them in their cars and they like them and they're easy and they have no complaints with them, then I'll get them on the market. So, you know, be looking for those. And the other nice thing about these things is I've got a Jeep Wagoneer sitting over here with the AMC V8 in it. Should be no issue. These will pop right into that same setup, and you could put an LS in your Jeep Wagoneer or whatever's using a V8 cross member. Now these are specified for V8 cross members. A lot of you said, well, we got 6 cylinders, and make a good point. Somebody that's got a V8 in their AMC, they're probably not going to want to put an LS in there, but maybe you got an AMC V8 car and it doesn't have a motor and you're having a hard time finding even a 304 to throw in there. Well, you know, LSs are everywhere. They're the new Chevy 350 small block. You can find them on every street corner. But anyways, that's, you know, that's going to be for those guys. But people that have 6-cylinder, which there's a lot of straight 6 AMCs out there, and especially the small body cars. I've already been told by a few people that's going to be a better deal out there, because those guys are going to be more likely the ones that want a V8 in their car, and they're totally right. I mean, it's going to be a no-brainer for you. The 6-cylinder guy is going to want to put an LS probably before the V8 guys. So these are out of our LS Gremlins. They're really ugly. They did the job. They're going to get shipped off here in the next day or two. The guy that's doing all the fabrication's about 100 miles from me, and I don't have time to always just drive over there and hang out with them. So I'm just going to ship these off to him. He's going to get some really nice made up units, and the same thing, they're going to just utilize the straight 6 rubber mounts. So these new ones that he's going to build, you just bolt them on your LS, you drop them in your small bodied car, your LS is fit, that's it, and you can put your transmission in. And that's the other thing I was going to mention on these cars too. The bigger V8 cars, V8 cross member, you can put an LS with the transmission hooked together in the car at the same time. The Gremlin, the smaller cars, you can do the engine first, then the transmission, or have your transmission up in the body and then, you know, put your engine in, but you can't put them in at the same time. So that's one thing I can tell you about the small body cars, and we're looking in the future of maybe helping out with that too. But in the meantime, we're going to try to get some motor mounts out. And that's the last reason I've been making these things and trying to get them done, is a lot of you have emailed me or messaged me on Instagram or whatever, asking me what kind of mounts, or can I build you a set of mounts, or do I have measurements, or this and that. You know, a lot of you have done that, especially on the Gremlin. So this is kind of how all this has been sparked to get going. And I've gotten quite a few people wanting to know motor mounts on the V8, on the AMX too. So these were easier, quicker to do. The Gremlin ones were a little harder for me to get out, besides that it's snowing and cold and everything up here. So, and you know, I had to do all this stuff out in the cold, and these weren't very easy to pull out of the Gremlin, but it could be done without pulling the engine. So anyways, like I said, just a little update on these AMC custom motor mounts I'm building, and hopefully what's going to happen here in the future for these Gremlin ones. I'm anticipating within a couple of weeks we'll have prototypes of these that we can send out to some testers, and hopefully have these ready to be sold in a month. I'm hoping these are going to be able to be sold in a week or two. So like I said, if you're in the market for any of this stuff, let me know. And in the future as well, just as quick as I've got time to mess with this stuff, we're looking at getting a header kit made for the small body AMCs, because that was a big thing when I was doing the Gremlin. The headers I ordered, everybody said they wouldn't fit, wouldn't work. Well, they worked fine. I had to modify the passenger side, but it wasn't very difficult, so I think I'm gonna order a bunch of those cheap block hugger LS headers and, you know, modify 5 or 6 sets of them, and then when you guys are ready to put in an LS and you need a header set that's just gonna bolt in and drop in and you ain't gotta do nothing, along with some motor mounts, hoping to be able to have just a whole kit ready for something like that. So, well, anyways, like I said, if you have any questions, you can always find me on Instagram or, you know, here on YouTube, and if you have any input on this stuff. But like I said, hopefully we can get a few mounts and a few custom brackets made to make this stuff a lot easier for you guys. Anyways, thanks for watching.